You are listening to KBFT's Bois Forte Veterans Series, a special Veterans Day series featuring stories from the Anishinaabe men and women of the Bois Forte Reservation who served in the United States military.
Well, my name is Gary Donald. I'm 89 years old. I lived on the Bois Forte Reservation most of my life. I served on the tribal council as a tribal chairman for 16 years. I joined the service in 1951, United States Army. I left the Nett Lake and I went to Minneapolis where I was sworn in. And then they sent me to Hawaii, Schofield Barracks, where I took my boot camp for 14 weeks. And then after I took my boot camp for 14 weeks, I become a drill instructor for 16 weeks. So you might as well say I took boot camp for that many times while I was in the service there. And I learned a lot while I was in boot camp, and then I learned a lot more while I was training troops, teaching them the left from the right. And then from there, I got transferred into the medical corps, and I was stationed at Chippewa Army Hospital for the rest of my enlistment, which was probably about a year and a half. And then I got discharged in 1954, came back to Nett Lake. My rank was corporal at the time when I was discharged. What happened when I was being discharged, I was called into the office at the sergeant's office, and he had sergeant stripes on his desk and a paper with the bonus amount I would get if I re-enlisted, and he was trying to buy me to re-enlist in the service. And I almost did. Sometimes I wished I would have and made a career out of it, but my heart was back here at home. So I told him no. I said I'm just going to take the discharge. And I came back to Nett Lake. Well, the only crisis if there was any was training the troops to go to war in Korea. And I think because I was the only son in my family, my dad was still alive at the time, but I was the only boy, only boy. And I think that's one of the reasons that I wasn't sent to Korea, and because of my youth, probably. And what they did then is that they saw my leadership that I had while I was stationed in the Schofield Barracks. That's why they put me in as training troops. And what I did there, the crisis that I could say is training troops to go to Korea for combat. That they kept me right there in Hawaii, served all my time right there. Anyone that gives their time to serve the United States as a military person and gets discharged, the veterans should be honored. I think it's a special day for the veterans. Some of those veterans that are disabled, that receive pensions from the military, I think they really deserve that. In fact, I think they don't get enough for the services that they provided to the country. I think it's a day that should be a lot of respect made for the veterans. The reason that I joined was because there was a place for me to go, because there was nothing for me at the reservation at the time when I was 17 years old. There was nothing for the youth. I looked at the veterans that we did have then in those days, like my relations, my relatives that had served, and I thought to myself, there's a chance for me to join the military and learn something. In fact, when I was a young fellow, when I was at that age, I didn't really know what discipline was. But I'll tell you something, when I joined the military and got into service, I learned discipline quickly. One of the things that I do know, when I was young, I was always reminded that you're an Indian, a no good Indian. And at that time, I looked at myself and thought to myself, I know I'm more than that. There's a lot more to me than a no good Indian. I'm a good Indian. I'm a good person. I believe in myself. I believe in my family, and I'd stick up for them. Just don't let anybody get you down because you're a veteran. Always say, yes, I am a veteran, and I'm very, very proud of that. To the veterans too, just thank you for your service, and to the band and to the country. Your immediate families who are proud of you because you were a veteran.
Thank you for listening to Bois Forte Veteran Series, brought to you by KBFT 89.9 FM. and the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.